Tonight. 30 minutes of big-time TV on the UBS network, located on the UBS Broadcasting Mall in El Tacoma, California, the unfinished furniture capital of the world, with Vern Taylor, who has the truth about Star Wars. Dr. Joyce Brothers, who is no relation to Tommy or Dickie. With the music of Happy Kind and the Mirthmakers. And me, I'm Jerry Hubbard. Hi, everybody. And now your host, the toast of the coast, Mr. Bart Kimball.
That's fabulous. Fella here in the audience gave me this tonight. It's a wonderful slogan. I think we ought to put them on our cars everywhere. Good evening and welcome. Good evening and welcome again to America Tonight. I am Barth Kimball. Oh, it's almost like history. And before we start tonight, let me clue you in on some of the special attractions we're planning for the show in the days and weeks to come. Now, some of these ideas are still just in the idea stage, and others haven't progressed that far yet. But just get an earful of what may be coming your way. First of all, of course, any rock fan knows that, the rumors about a reunion of the Beatles keep popping up. Okay. And the Beatles keep denying it. Well, we're not going to wait for them to get off the dime, that's for sure. We're going to assemble the original Broadway cast of the show Beatlemania, get all of them back together, and we're going to have a genuine Beatlemania reunion right here on A2 America Tonight. Now, as I understand it, it'll be the first time the original fake Paul and fake John have seen each other in about 13 months. We're kind of excited about it, understandably, I think. Doesn't matter to me, it just sounds like good television. Well, okay. That's enough about what's upcoming. Let's get to tonight's show before we're off going. And speaking of things that come up quite often and have that problem, actually, digestively, here is our own Jerry Hubbard. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. But you know what? That sounds like some interesting stuff coming up, and it's great we're out here in California, Southern California. I love it, yeah. We have our choice, huh? Anyhow. I love it, I'm kidding. But you know, I went on one of these tours of the Stars' home, and halfway through I kept saying, when are we going to see the Stars? They won't let you see the Stars. I said, we're just taking this guy's word for it that this is Gregory Peck's home and Cary Grant's home. I said, what good? I thought we could go in and visit with them.
Well, a lot of these people work all the time, you know, and or they're on location with the picture or something like that. You can't expect to actually go up and ring the doorbell and have them come out there, you know. Did you really think that was going to happen?
Well, I thought, you know, they might be out in the garden or something and, you know, have some identification.
Well, when you go to Dino's restaurant up in Hollywood, you don't expect to see...
He wasn't there. Yeah, he wasn't there again. I say, how do I know he owns this?
Is there a bar there?
I think in the back, yeah.
He owns it. My first guests are two of California's most popular and unusual surfers. Not long ago, they were typical beach bums. They'd surf all day and grab some bunnies, take them home, drink beer, and do who knows what all night. And I'm serious. Great. I love kids. Suddenly they gave it all up for a very good reason.
Yeah, they were crazy.
Well, there are those who think that. Jerry, actually, they found religion. Oh. So please welcome Denny and Brian, the born-again surfers.
The Lord is my lifeguard, I got no doubt. If the devil sends a big one to wipe me out, Satan thinks he's got me, but I'm out of reach. I just ride that devil wave to Paradise Beach. I'm surfing to heaven, bless my board, shooting the girl and praising the Lord. I'm surfing to heaven, I just can't wait to hang ten through those pearly gates. I'm surfing to heaven, surfing to heaven, surfing to heaven.
lifeguard whistle.
How are you? How are you?
That was fabulous. Have a seat, gentlemen. Okay, you know each other, yet you still shake hands. You're friends. How did it come to pass that you two were reborn?
Well, I guess it happened one day while we were out surfing. We were riding some 10-footers, and we kind of call those logs. That's just our term for it. Anyway, the waves, man, the water was real glassy, you know? It's kind of hard. Yeah, so we were out there about 100 yards or so off the shore, and all of a sudden we just kind of bumped into each other and had real bad wipeout and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, now you bumped into each other. That's great news, but when did you bump into the Lord?
Well, now, right after we wiped out, we were just kind of floundering in the water, and all of a sudden we heard this voice come out of the sky, and it said, "You are too close to the pier. Please maintain a 50-foot distance from the pier." So we thought, well, obviously, oh, wow, somebody's looking out for us. And ever since then, we've had kind of a feeling about the Lord saving our lives.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, fellas, I hate to be a wet blanket here, but isn't it possible that that voice came from some human source, like, say, maybe a lifeguard or someone on the pier?
For heaven's sakes, what are you, a doubting gimbal? I mean, is the glass half full or is it half empty?
Go for it.
Why, sure. I mean, besides, they were 100 yards offshore. Didn't you say so?
For sure.
Jerry, have you ever heard of a megaphone or a bullhorn?
That makes even less sense. What would the Lord need with a megaphone? He's got the deep, booming voice.
It's okay. It's okay. If he prefers to see it as a lifeguard, well, that's fine. We prefer to see it as a miracle.
There you are, born-again surfers. And here I am, bored-again host. I'm sure it's great news that you are born again. I have a feeling that how you were born originally would probably be a much more interesting story. And maybe you can come back earlier if you're ever reincarnated and tell us about that one, which is born for the third time. Okay, right now we're going down for the third time, and as water sport enthusiasts, you know what that means. That's it. We'll be back after this word.
Well, it's silly to get up and wash and shave and groom your hair and then go back to bed. For now,
He has his own rights.
Well, he has his rights, but you know, it's a matter.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. We're back. If my friend Jerry here doesn't seem quite as happy as usual, it's happy. No, not that it's happy that Jerry is not happy, son of a gun, but it's happy that made Jerry unhappy, or is it vice versa? It's one of those. Jerry and Happy, of course, as you probably know, have been living together ever since they came out here to California from Fernwood.
Well, it was just a temporary thing. We thought it would be a convenience, but what we didn't know is that I'd be moving in with a nut.
And you're having a little problem. You talk about convenience with the convenience in the apartment. You just have the one, and
well, that's
when
right.
you're in the convenience, he wants it, and vice
Well,
versa.
what I find is I can't understand why when I'm taking a bath and a certain party wants to come in and use another certain convenience in the same room. I mean, it's one thing to wait and, I mean, I can't get out of the tub and run into the other room and wait and come back, and I'm not going to, well,
Listen, I don't think it's really fair to go this whole thing here without Happy sitting here to defend himself.
Uh-oh.
So maybe you guys can work it out a little bit later, okay, while we just move on with our show. Our next guest is one of the most recognized and, well, I'd have to say respected psychologists in the world today. Please welcome. It's a long one.
Words that you don't say the P there. That's
Oh,
right.
I see. So
Launch right in. You skip the first letter and go right into psych.
like pneumonia. Please welcome Dr. Joyce Brothers. Except no substitutes, it is Joyce Brothers. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Nice to see you. You look lovely.
That's
Wow,
very
those
nice of you.
diamonds and everything. That's
Oh,
great.
sure. That's very important. When you give seminars at colleges, you always wear diamonds.
I would think so, because the kids are into that these days. Listen, Doctor, I know you live in New York. What brings you to California?
I'm giving a seminar on marriage and divorce here at a college.
Did you bring your husband? Only teasing. Is that any better now? I hope so. Listen, maybe you can offer some advice to our viewers who might be celebrating either a marriage or a divorce, and most people are. And as a matter of fact, maybe you could offer some tips to Jerry and Happy here, maybe so that they can reach a marriage of the minds as far as their problems, so that one of them doesn't get divorced out of the apartment.
One of the things that I would like to suggest is that you realize that a relationship of roommates is really harder than a relationship of two people who are married, because you don't have the sex to make up with, you see.
That's for sure. I want to make that quite clear here.
That's a good point.
For example, with one of you is very clean and the other one is very messy, well then you're going to have problems. I mean, if, for example, one of you gets up in the middle of the night for an aspirin and comes back and finds his bed made, well, it's going to be very difficult.
Hap never did. Why don't we get Hap over here to defend himself?
Come on over. Happy kind, ladies and gentlemen.
And hello, Mr. Bathroom Hogger.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right off the bat.
Yeah, a little trouble in paradise.
I had to take the door off one day.
Oh, is that right? Well, what do you think, Joyce? You're probably the best in the business. What do you think we can do about this problem here?
Wait a minute. Before we start, we don't need a shrink to figure this out. The simple point of the...
Jerry, Dr. Brothers is not a shrink.
Okay, my mistake. I'm just getting flabbergasted here. I mean, psychic or psychotic or whatever the word is. The truth of the matter is, what Happy is steamed about and what he's been alluding to is the fact that I happen to have a certain pride about my personal appearance, and I spend a few extra minutes a day in the bathroom trying to take care of it.
2.5 hours. Does that seem like minutes?
Once I was in there 2.5 hours.
Well, yeah, that's right. And that's not just a few minutes. That's crazy. Anybody that does
there's
that,
the word.
Crazy is the only word.
Well, he's got a lot of hair to comb.
Yeah. Crazy is your field. Now, let's
You're, okay.
You use the word crazy, and to me, that's exactly what you deal with. I hear about these people you talk about on the other lesser talk shows. And the minute crazy comes up, that's your field. Now, what is wrong with this particular picture?
Well, it's really very difficult because, after all, we get a woman in the apartment, and if one or the other has invited the woman in, and the one who hasn't invited, if he hangs around, then he's trying to steal the woman, and if he doesn't hang around, he's just, you know, the woman's not good enough for him, so that it really is very hard to come to any agreement about
Right.
how...
And just because the other one without a woman happens to be in the other room and doesn't announce the fact that he's in the other room does not mean that he's eavesdropping.
Well, it was only my mother anyway. It didn't matter.
You don't get any women in your complex?
Actually, they do, because the place in question here is kind of a swinging singles complex. I think you've probably read about them. It's the only one in the El Tacoma area, and it is called the Marina del Coma.
That's right.
It's wonderful.
It's fairly new. We have the hot tubs installed already. There's room for tennis, and there's badminton, and...
they're thinking of putting a pool in, aren't they?
Well, the pool is in, but they're going to get that water in. They promised us sometime, hopefully, before next summer is over.
The thing about this marina, too, is that it's nowhere near the water. There are no facilities for boats or anything like that, because they just use the name marina, and it's nowhere near the water.
That's right. It's a totally new concept in the marina style of living.
Why do you use the word marina at all?
Well, the truth of the matter is that marina, the word marina, has a certain magic quality, an attraction for certain very attractive girls, and they find it attractive to, when I say I live at the marina.
Certain words like that almost conjure up sexual images, don't they?
Yes, I think they do.
I would think, like, if you say I live in
very swinging, very, very much so.
a marina would be more that type?
Yeah.
Like
You know-
old abandoned Kroger store doesn't say the same thing.
Say, how do you conjure up those sexual images? I've been wondering about that.
Now listen, when I'm
Memory.
The sexual revolution's coming. He's out of ammunition.
All right.
Happy she's just kidding you.
Oh, I'm
And if we
teasing,
can't get
I'm
each
teasing,
other,
I'm really-
That's right.
who can we?
I'd take a hint, you know.
So,
I'll go to
Jerry,
the store and get some.
Well, anyway, I say, who needs boats in a marina?
well, you have your own little toy boat you play with out in the hot tub. And you
Yeah, in the hot tub.
Huh?
Let me make this clear now. They're boats. I'm not playing with boats in the hot tub.
Well, do you have a rubber duck?
Oh, fine. Did you tell her I have a rubber duck? Well, they are miniature boats crafted to scale of World War II model boats where I recreate certain documented naval maneuvers.
But they look like ducks.
Heavy.
They look like ducks.
Do you live alone?
Yeah, by choice.
You're,
I mean, I'm not alone very often, you know.
but you are a bachelor.
Bachelor, yes.
Did you know they've done some studies asking people all over the country about their own happiness? And the happiest of all people, in terms of what they say about themselves, are married men. And then come single women. And then come married women. And least happy of all are bachelors. And it's... Well, it's believed that the reason for it is that, in spite of women's liberation, it's still true that women tend to marry up intellectually. That is, they're attracted to men who are more intelligent than they are. And men tend to shy away from women who have more brains than they do.
Really?
So that
That's probably why you still live alone.
It seems to be that the bachelors can't find anybody to look down on, and that's why they're less happy.
Well, stop me if I'm wrong, or stop me anyway. Stop me if I'm wrong. Don't most women marry bachelors? We're going to break away right now for commercial. Don't go away. This segment of America Tonight is called Money Talks, where anyone with an editorial opinion, regardless of his race, his or her race, creed, color, or politics, can express his or her, again, views, as long as they buy the airtime. If you've got the cash, you've got the microphone and the network. That's the American way. So tonight, an old friend from Fernwood, Ohio, has put his money where his mouth is on Money Talks.
If you got a song, some gripes or some squawks, let it all hang out on Money Talks.
Yeah, we have probably the best art department of any network here, and I think from time to time it's nice that he gets a hand. So, at any rate, Vern Taylor is in California. He's attending the 12th annual War Veterans Ammo Convention. So, here's Vern Taylor, or Uncle Sam Jr., with 2 minutes of network time. I'm going to ring it up in a second here on Money Talks. On your mark, get set, talk.
Hello, friends. I know you're just as fed up to your guts as I am over the way our good American kids are seeing violence portrayed on the boob tube. Shows like Starksy and Hutch, and Beretta and his bird, show guys getting shot, and they say things like, ooh, and they fall down dead. No blood, no nothing. Kids don't see the real pain and suffering, and they get the goody two-shoes idea that violence is okay. But I happen to know it's not true. I happen to know that violence can get very physical. What these shows don't show is that when you get shot in the chest, your buns get blown off against the wall. They don't know that when a guy punches you in the face, your teeth break off, and your eyes pop out of their sockets and hang there going, boogala, boogala. And your face looks like ground chuck. And your wife says, where you been? Out drinking, or did that cocktail waitress slap you with a shot glass again? And what about Star Wars? They should call it Fake Wars or Star Sissies. See a World War II newsreel, and you'll see violence. Let's write our congressmen and our networks, whoever's running this country, and get a show where kids see some arms flying and some feet turning green. The only warlike thing about Star Wars was the music. It had trumpets, and trumpets say war to me, and I love trumpets. So here's a little number I call my tribute to Star Wars. Hit it, Hap.
Well said and well played.
Beautifully done, Vern.
Oh,
We'll be right back after these important words. Give him a moment to...
You'll probably...
Thank you very much for being with us, especially thanks to Dr. Joyce Brothers and all the brothers' sisters. Okay? Happy Kind, Jerry Hubbard, Vern Taylor. Good night.
Tonight at 11 on Monty Python, a young couple vacationing in Paris find themselves members of the St. Looney Up the Cream Bum and Jam congregation. And next, the 12th Annual Music City News Country Awards.
Jewelry, gifts, decor, personalized items, and things from practical to whimsical, and I prefer whimsical. Furnished by Lillian Vernon. And slip your face into something comfortable. Face Quencher by Chapstick. Moisturizing makeup, blusher, and powder. Also appearing on tonight's show were John Pappas as Denny Williams, Jim Diedrich as Brian Williams, Vern Rowe as Vern Taylor, and a special guest appearance by Dr. Joyce Brothers.